You know they drafted a chair. Scooby fucking Doo got drafted in the 70s, man.
Gil, how you doing today?
That wasn't real ball. Lakers is not real balling. But I'm
We'll
doing,
get into it. We'll get into
but
it.
I'm doing good.
That's good. That's good, man. Um, let's start there. Let's start with that conversation. Laker Nation needs a check-in from you. Right now, we are third Western Conference. Still about what is that? 8 games behind San Antonio. So may or may not catch San Antonio. 10 games behind Oklahoma City. But more importantly, Luka Doncic is going absolutely insane and making a real push for MVP.
Okay.
Yeah, how do you feel about Mr. Averaging 40? Because I think over the last like 9 games, 10 games, he's averaging 40 points per game. How do you feel about Luka's MVP odds?
Let me just be honest with you. What you're doing lately is amazing. What you've been doing all season has been, amazing. What you've been doing for your career is amazing. And you've been a top 3, top 4 MVP candidate every single year. The odds, you're you're fourth at best right now. You can really fight for fourth because everybody else has been standing on business. Also, all year long, even though you've been doing it all year long, but when you're with the Lakers and you lose 2, 3 games in a row, it's like the world is ended, right? If you don't see the record and you ask everybody where the Lakers were, they will say 6 or 7, 8 at best, right? That's how the Lakers news is perceived, right? You got to go 82-0 for you to be received very well in this Lakers atmosphere we call the NBA. So, you have Shea doing what Shea does, right? And he's reigning MVP, and you have to beat him out with a big case. And no one has a big case in dethroning him. Who can catch him seems like Wemby can catch him. And with Wemby, it's a weird one because yes, defensively he is dominant. Offensively, he's ranked 22 in the NBA. Shea's ranked 2 in the NBA. Defensively, win shares, he's ranked, 6, 7. Right? So his defense to offense is a lot better than Wemby's defense to offense. Right? Right. The production offensively from Wemby, he's doing enough to be two-way player, but it's more of a defense to offense versus Shea's offense to defense, and he's on par with the Michael Jordans and the Kobe Bryants, where they're these elite scorers that shut down also, right? You're shutting down also versus a defensive guy who can put the ball in the basket also, right? So it's that weird combo. So I think those two are 1, 2. Then you have Jokic with a triple double, 3. So it shades to lose to Wemby, but I don't think Luka's close enough. He can do much of anything right now in the last 8 games, unless he scores even if he scores 850s in a row. I don't know if it's enough for voters to be like, we're gonna remove Shea.
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking at the Kia MVP race. Wemby at one. This is from 2 days ago.
Mhm.
Wemby at one, 24 points, 11 rebounds, 3 blocks. Shea at two at 32 points, 4 rebounds, 7 assists. Jokic at three, 28, 13, and 11. If I'm not mistaken, he leads both in rebounds and assists.
He's leading the
And
league in rebounds and assists.
if I'm not mistaken, yeah.
Uh, yeah.
And then Luca at 34, 8, and 8. Um,
It's a
I
good ass.
think
That's a good ass race right here.
this probably one of the better ones. But my fear is that one, you're right about Luca getting that treatment from being on the Lakers. Last week he was ranked two, goes on a stretch of averaging 40 and winning games, and then jumps down to four. Makes no sense.
Yeah, it does.
How does that make sense?
It's called. It's called. Psyche, bitch. That's all that's called.
God.
I'm gonna make you pretend that you're close enough to win it, but come on. Voters know who they want already. right? So they're just putting people in there, and then they're just moving the goalposts, and
Okay.
that's all it is. It ain't. There's nothing these guys can do right now unless it's just out of this world. Um, so you're gonna give it to Shea unless Wimby just goes berserk in these last couple games. But if you're San Antonio Spurs, are you gonna try to burn him out to get it? Because we already know OKC is not gonna let Shea not get this. So there's gonna be games towards the end where he's gonna score 50 and possibly 60. He's going to do his damn thing over there. So that means you and your team is going to have to start playing Wemby 38, 48 minutes for him to put up that production.
So that,
Because you're a visible one because you've been saying it all year. But the voters still got Shea. They're just messing with the ladder right now.
so
Right. So
that that's
as soon as the Spurs lose or Wemby has one of those rough games, he's going to jump to third. And then he's going to go from first to third. It's going to be one of those looks.
that's what I was gonna ask you. That's my second point. Is that as a Luca fan, it honestly looks like Luca will never win an MVP in his life. I know this sounds crazy,
I'm
but
pretty
the
sure
past
I'm pretty sure Carmelo thought the same thing and Charles Barkley. I'm pretty sure they thought the same thing when Michael Jordan was in the league. But at the end of the day, it just seems like if your team gets better, you win. Yeah, that's MVP. I have a better team than you, and I win a MVP. Right? It changed. The rules changes every year.
mm,
Right? So if Luca averages 31, 8-8 next year, and Lakers are number one, Luca's the MVP. It's that simple, because Lakers being number one, that's big news. You know what I mean? So throwing the MVP out for Luca and his team is number one, that's gonna be big NBA. That's you know what I mean? Come on, man. You gotta know the script. Understand what makes this league this NBA league move. That purple and gold jersey. Pow.
mm.
So hey, at least it's fourth.
At least he's fourth. That's
At least
that's what
it's
I
fourth.
got.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
He gonna get his. He gonna get his one day. But this is great. I mean, you got every year you got. I don't know how many years. I don't know what year when you can preseason say, all right, these five people are the MVP candidates. Like if Denver's one, two, or three, or four, what Jokic is going to do is going to put him in the MVP race.
Mhm.
Period. Obviously, Shea's doing what he's MVP race. Luca's number puts him in the MVP race. Moving forward, Wemby's numbers is MVP race. And then you got a healthy Giannis, MVP race, right? And don't let Joel Embiid somehow get new knees this summer. New knees, Joel Embiid is gonna be MVP, right? And then you got someone who is gonna be playing like an MVP player, but they're never gonna give him the MVP credit, and that will be Ant-Man and Jason Tatum.
Oh, Cade. I forgot about Cade. He's up on that upward
No, no,
trajectory
no.
too.
No. His team has to be good for him to do that.
Oh, I think they'll be good. I think they'll be
No,
good
no,
going
I'm just
forward.
saying the team
Oh,
itself
I
has
understand.
to be winning. The other guys, just their presence in the just being healthy, they're going to be there because Giannis is going to average 33, 32, and 12 or 11. Jokic is going to be damn near flirting with a triple double, right? You're going to Giannis. You got Wemby, who's going to be next year damn near 26 and 14, 28 and 14, right? 3, 4 blocks, MVP, right? So you have guys who just their body of work. We know if Embiid is healthy, he's playing 30 minutes alone, he's going to be anywhere from 32 to 35 and 12, right? That's going to be the MVP. Those are guys that's just their body of work. And I don't know if we've ever had that before,
Damn.
all at once, right? Even with Allen Iverson, T Mac, Kobe, young LeBron, right? We're talking about that 05, 06 era, right? But most of those guys had to have winning teams to be pushed in that category. So I like it. I like it. It's a good time to be a basketball fan, man. You know, you get your ass out that nostalgia of the 1980s, right? Like we know it started the NBA, we get it. We know it started the NBA, we get it. But god damn, it's it. Like the 90, the 85 Bears, we get it. Okay, we get it. You had a good year. Okay, let it go. Right? Every time we play fucking Madden, everybody want the 85 Bears. Yeah, if you're Chicago, you want the 85 Bears. There's been other fucking Bears that's been good. Yeah, just let it go. All right?
Um, since the last time we talked, because we're going on into the future, but like you said, somehow we're still hanging on into the past.
Mm-hmm.
They've talked about bringing in two expansion teams. They talked about bringing in two new expansion teams,
Mm-hmm.
and first and foremost, some players don't like the fact that they're going to bring in some new expansion teams. Let me play this first, and then I want to get your thoughts. This is Tracy McGrady on the league adding two teams.
Thoughts on the NBA expanding to 32 teams? I'm all for trying to increase the revenue.
Which is going to do, particularly the teams, Vegas,
Yeah.
going to bring crowds.
Yeah.
You know what it's like to go back to Seattle. Oh, they're playing Seattle. Like they're diehard.
But I'm just like, we got 30 teams, got a lot of players, 450, maybe more now. We don't have the talent to be trying to start two more teams, bro. I just don't think we have the talent to start two more teams. Now, can we take two teams away and add two teams?
To still be at 30.
To still
so
be
you're
at
saying
30.
eliminate
I'm
two teams
saying-
to still stay at 30.
I'm saying keep it at 30, 32. The talent is, to me, is down, bro.
And I think that that's like a little bit of some of the older players' sentiments is that we just don't have enough. We don't have enough. Talent is down. We've seen what expansion has done. And I will say from a fan's perspective, a lot of people think that, we don't get to see our favorites in the league. Kenny Lofton, he should be in the league. Mike James, guy who should be in the league. But I don't know, especially how you feel from like a talent perspective. Do we have enough for expansion? And what are your thoughts on Seattle and Vegas being those two locations? You doing the math?
I'm just gonna do this. Just bear with me real quick.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Hold on, let me just make sure. Okay. Okay. Ooh. Yeah, that's what I figured. That's what I figured. Let me see. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. When was the first expansion team?
Ever?
Yeah, not ever. In the 80s.
Oh, let's see. I got expansion of the NBA right here back in the 80s. So in 76 to 80, league had 22, and then they went to 23, 80 to 88.
80, 88. So they added a team in 80, 88? 88, okay, 88. So after the 88 season?
Tell you right now. In 1980, they added the Mavs. In 88, they added the Hornets and Heat.
88, 88, year 88, Hornets and Heat, two teams.
Two Eastern Conference teams. Then in 80, the next year they do add two more teams, by the way. The very next year,
In
89.
89.
They add the Timberwolves and the Orlando Magic.
Okay. All right. Now, one would say back in 1987 and 88, why the hell would we expand and the talent is not here? The same. Okay, remember the 80s is glorified as the best golden era. So remember what I'm saying. From media and how people talk about the 80s, this is the glorified era where the talent was supreme. That's what they were saying. They added 4 teams, 88, 89. But if the talent was there, can I ask questions on why? Okay, Michael Jordan came in the league in 84 draft. 84 draft, there was 228 players drafted. That was 10 rounds of basketball. 10 rounds. Right now we have 54. 54. 10 rounds in 84. You know how good the product must be if you have 10 rounds of players? Okay, the very next year. 162, 86, 162, 87, 161. Ooh, they trimmed one off. It was like, yeah, you know what? We don't need that one. Yeah. 88, 75. So in 87, 161 players came into the NBA. You know how horrible the talent really must be if that many people get a chance to try to enter the league. We have 54 players today, and at least out of 54, 30 won't make it past year 2. The 80s was so not talented as a whole that more people got drafted in the 80s than since the 80s till now. That means those 10 years, they drafted more players than the next 40 years. That is very, very telling. So if they was allowed to expand 4 teams with the product that was flowing through the league, I'm pretty sure it's okay for this league to get 2 more teams. Like we could get 2 more teams in today's NBA if the 80s got 4. And they drafted a chair.
Okay.
Scooby fucking Doo got drafted in the 70s, man. Bruce Jenner, who never played ran track just because he was an athlete, they drafted him. A woman got drafted in the NBA. Mm-hmm. And probably your uncle, your pops, your granddaddy cousin, everybody got drafted in the 80s, 70s, and the 60s. And then that shit, I don't even know. I'm scared to go to the 60s, see how many people they drafted in the 60s. I mean, you know what? I just went for Michael Jordan because, it seemed like that's what, okay, let me see. Because I know there's going to be some 279, 90s and stuff. There's going to be some weird. They drafted a chair, bro. A chair? You know how bad the product got to be? It was like, you know what? This chair would do better. Scooby fucking Doo would do. What kind of hard rock was they on? I want to see who drafted the chair. Was it the Lakers? Was it the Lakers who drafted the chair?
I didn't even know there was a chair drafted. So
Mm-hmm.
you're telling me something different here.
Oh my God, they had less people being drafted in '78. Oh, I forgot they added the black folks. I forgot, my bad. That's all the shit we gotta expand. Blacks is coming. Yeah, but I mean, so the product is here. We have a lot of product here. And when it went to 54, it's basically after Jordan after he swept the league. So I think in '89 is when they went to 54, and we've been at 54 ever since. So I think once Jordan won every award, because it was at 75 the year he won, '89 draft, 54.
I think another part of the question.
Once MJ won all the other awards, that next draft, 54, and we've been at 54 ever since.
I think the other part of the question is like why. because other leagues outside of like, okay, the WNBA just is relatively new compared to the other leagues. I think there's some soccer leagues that are like new relative to other leagues. But why does the NBA keep expanding when like the NFL or baseball, we haven't really heard too much about them being serious about expansion? If you have any thoughts.
Who's the hottest team? I mean, who's the hottest league in the world?
Yeah, it's NBA. I would say
See,
the NBA.
so when we're not talking about America here, folks. So I know as much as you want to say football, right? As much as you want to say football, we damn near have high school players that got more fucking visibility on social media than football players, football stars. Um, Basketball is the fountain of youth. And I'm sorry to keep reminding you, basketball is worldwide sports. Football is big in America. Outside of America, basketball. Right? You have soccer who's big, but they're not stationed here as a league here. Baseball, again, league here. Global basketball. Meaning, if you take the top players, top 10 players from every sport, and you went country to country, some people are going to get their feelings fucking hurt. Because they're not as big as they think they are, because they're only, some of them are barely recognizable here. And they're superstars, right? So when you're talking about expanding, you have people from around the world trying to make the NBA. Right, when we go to the Olympics, what's the main sport that everybody wants to watch? What gold really matters? Like, why are we pretending if the USA basketball team don't win gold, the world feel like it's over. When we talking about the next Olympics, nobody's talking about no other sport. Nobody says, oh man, France has a chance to beat our girls basketball team. Nope. France has a chance to beat the lacrosse. No one cares, man. It's the gold men's basketball that weighs so much on America and America's sports. First of all, we already know the women's gonna win gold. that's just given. That's check mark. That they got that check mark. But it's men's gold basketball around the world is what everybody wants, man. I'm sorry. It's the fountain of there's leagues. There's 78, 80-year-old leagues of basketball players. Right? You're talking about if it has a gym, if it has a park, there's a basketball league running in it. China alone has more registered basketball players than we have people here. They have more young, inspiring hoopers than we have people in the United States of America. That's how big basketball is. So expanding is what the NBA needs to do because there's a demand for it. But football can expand if they wanted to. I mean, everyone can expand if you want to. Do you have a demand for it? Is there cities that they demand a team that can support its own ecosystem? That's all it really is.
No, I think you're right because in some regards, like football's I don't want to say tapped out, but like maybe they could throw a team in Alabama, maybe an extra team in Texas, but for what it's worth, unless you start going to Mexico or whatever, and that doesn't make a lot of sense. The NBA could do a whole international, which they're trying to do, division. They could do a whole Europe division. They could do a whole China division. They could do a whole wherever.
They can put a team in Mexico.
Yeah.
Shit, they can put a team in San Diego. They can go back and put a team in San Diego. It's gonna pop, right? They can put a team in. You can put another team in Texas for sure.
For sure.
You can put another team in Florida. Um, you can put another.
Atlanta.
You can put another team here in Los Angeles. You put it in San Diego. You put it.
You say Atlanta. So we could just.
Atlanta? No, I wouldn't put another team in Atlanta. They don't even support the Atlanta Hawks.
That's what I'm saying. We need something to transition to. Is what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
yeah. I mean, I'm just saying you don't. Yeah, that'd be. No, but I mean, not even NBA. NBA got a couple more teams. Like even with the move back to Supersonics, I don't know. Right? It's very different. They said it's going to cost. It's going to cost. You're going to pay $8 to $10 billion for the team. Right? This new NBA, you're going to $8 to $10 million. I don't know if that's a great investment. Like how many years you can't just flip that franchise now. Because the team itself on resale value won't be worth $10 billion. It has to fall in line. San Antonio Spurs is only worth 4 and they got damn near how many championships under the belt, right? So I don't know where Seattle's ecosystem is, the economy itself, but it's off the economy. So I'm pretty sure it's sitting at damn near the bottom half. The economy itself, that and Vegas, the economy itself. Like Vegas is transients. That's where the money comes from. People come into town. And I think people are getting confused. People coming there versus people living there. Being I got to go watch football. What is the football crowd like? What is the Vegas
The Aces
look like? What does the sports attendance look like? Because it's a transient city. Like most people don't even live there. You know, the big money's coming into town.
For what it's worth, I think that um the Aces have been successful and they've expanded, but I think as I'm doing a quick skim of the Raiders, it's been like a very type situation as far as attendance and what the team is doing and all this other
Yeah,
stuff.
you gotta have. We're talking about like diehard fans of these teams, and it's just not in. It won't be in that city. Like they're gonna have to grow that city into a fan base. Other than that, you're gonna have to rely on out of towners coming in. So you're gonna spike during the weekends and during the weekday when. So it's gonna be one. It seems like it's gonna be one of those things unless they have superstars. But I don't know. Anytime Vegas, like NBA, like NBA All, not NBA All Star, but shit, NBA All Star, but that's every city. But Summer League, people show the fuck up. College sports, people show up. So, the ticket prices for the normal person that lives in Vegas it can't be the same as, they thinking they're in LA and New York because of Vegas itself.
So look, last year, last year, the Raiders ranked 23rd in attendance, but apparently they also have like a slightly smaller stadium. But as I'm on Reddit and stuff, they're saying that basically it's when they play like the Steelers, a bunch of Steelers fans come. When they play
Yeah.
like that's what it really is.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's what I said is that they're not going to have a home team. So, but when you're talking about buying a team for 8 to $10 billion, you're really talking about, can you get your money? Can you flip your money? Is this a great business deal for you? Right? So let's say Seattle gets a team. After all the money you done spent, when will you be able to sell your team for 10 billion or more? Because the team is worth that. Like if you bought Boston for $6 billion, if you sell Boston right now, you're gonna get 9 to 10. Period. Right? If you just bought the Dallas Mavericks right now, a year from now, 2 years from now, you're gonna get your $6 billion back, or you're gonna be at 7 to 8 billion on a resale. You buy Seattle for $7 billion, $10 billion. There's no way in hell that a franchise that's going to be bottom tier inside the ecosystem that's going to be worth on paper $3 to $4 billion. You buy it for $10 billion, you're not going to be able to sell it for 11 on a flip around. You're going to have to hold that forever. Like everybody who bought their teams, let's say Memphis, he bought it for probably $1 million, $1.5 million. I don't know. Shit, he probably bought a couple 100,000, right?
At the max, probably so.
Yeah, so if it's worth $2-3 billion right now, that's a come up.
Yeah, and you know, this is big money we talking about. So
When did he buy that? He bought that team for how much?
Remember they relocated. So let me
Memphis
look up
didn't relocate.
from Vancouver.
No, that was a long time ago.
Oh, you talking about the most recent one?
Yeah.
Oh no, well first the most recent one, 2012. But it was for 377 million.
377 million. Yeah.
But compared to today, I mean, we're in the billions now.
But I said 377 million. So, and it's worth billions right now. How much is it worth?
Let me see. Well, actually, let me put this piece of information out there. So 2012, Robert Pera bought the Memphis Grizzlies for 377 million. 6 years later, 2018, it went to 1.3 billion. So in that 6 year span, forget what it is today. That 6 year span of time, he went and flipped his money 2, 3, 4, 5 times. Like, you know, that's a good flip right there. I ain't gonna lie. Memphis now is worth $4 billion.
Okay, there we go. Now $4 billion. Now where does Seattle rank in the USA economy?
You want to do as a media market? Because I think that's what the word they throw.
Who? No, it's not media market. It's the city value.
I'm saying, do you want to do city value or like media market? Because they throw media market around in these conversations.
No, I know what they throw around. I'm going with reality. I think it's too much media.
Let's see if we can find it. Let's see if we can find it. Dang, things say the best city to live in.
Like right now, so like when it comes to like, it'd be, what is it called? Not minimum wage. That minimum wage, that is that. Where
they have a high GDP, but it's like they're saying it's high in the country. Like top 5, top 10. Seattle.
What are you looking at?
The GDP for the city. The gross domestic is that product. What GDP stands for? Am I old? Am I getting old, Gil? Economically, yeah, gross domestic product. Total market value of all final goods and services produced within a place in space. So like Seattle ranks really, really high. But remember, they have like it's a big international city. They do a lot of
like city size, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like Memphis, no matter what Memphis sells, you got FedEx there. Like, it's a small city, right? Detroit's a small city, right? Minnesota's a small city, right? So your franchise can't grow. That's like certain cities, their ticket value, they can't move it because the people there don't make enough money for that inflation. So like so franchises in NBA right now, right? Golden State, if they sold 11 billion, Lakers is 10 billion, New York Knicks 10 billion, Los Angeles Clippers, they got them valued at 7.5, Boston 6.7, Chicago 6.2, Houston 6, Miami 6, Brooklyn 6.2, Philadelphia 6 billion, right? Now you heard the names of those teams, right? Right? Brooklyn ain't won nothing, right? Not a damn thing. What he bought it for, what he sells it for. Now, if you're buying a team for $10 billion, that means you'll be second, Los Angeles Lakers. But your value won't be Los Angeles Lakers. You're gonna have to rank all the way back where the city is ranked. So when you're talking about values, let me see rank values all 30 teams. So you can see what I'm saying. Let me see if we can get everybody else. Okay, so we got so Dallas Mavericks, Phoenix, Atlanta Hawks, so Cleveland Cavaliers, 4.9. What do you buy that team for?
The Cavs.
Yeah, what do you buy that team for? Oh, he was old NBA, right? So he's only like a 400,000, maybe.
Yeah, I think. Let me see. Dan Gilbert, Cavs. 2005 for $375 million.
Yeah, he's part of the old because when Wizards sold, that was the last 300. So you got Sacramento 4.6, 4.9. Look, no championship, right? No championship, 4.9. Right? Washington Wizards 4.7. Denver Nuggets with a championship, 4.7. Milwaukee got a championship beyond 4.4. San Antonio got all the championships, 4.4. Indiana Pacers, 4.3. Oklahoma City with a championship, 4.3. Right? Utah, 4.2. Trailblazers, 4.2. So where does Orlando, 4 million. So where does Seattle rank when it comes to these teams? Charlotte Bobcats, 3.9. Minnesota. So let me see. Who's number 30? Memphis. Yep. Memphis Grizzlies, 3.7. No matter what Memphis does, as a basketball team, they're going to be 30th. Unless somebody puts a team in a city that's just worse than that. It's just, no matter how many championships Memphis wins, their sell value, they're going to be ranked 30th behind everybody else because it has nothing to do with how good your team is and your fan support.
Well,
It's just the value of the living market. So I don't know if Seattle can do it. I'm pretty sure when it comes to investors in Vegas, they can work some magic. I just don't think this new NBA price is fit for Seattle because you're talking about ticket prices has to be different than it was before. It's a great basketball town, but is that basketball town gonna be paying $20,000, $30,000 for front row tickets? And that's the thing. Basketball was very different back then, and prices were very different back then. Even the Clipper tickets, right? They're gonna be moving up. That fan base is gonna change.
Yeah, that first year was cool. Got the little lights.
Little lights, little cameras in action. Hey, now the price of the brick has went up.
Yeah. We got charged the first time. Hold on now. Yeah, the water is more. Well, it don't really matter because Adam Silver gonna do it. So
No, of course. Like it's one of those things. Is look, if I want to see LeBron and Kawhi, it's very different. Okay, if Kawhi is going to LeBron, that means Kawhi is going into the Clippers. I mean, he's going to the Laker gym, right? Front row, 10 to 15,000. Yeah. Now, LeBron and Luka just crossing the street. Going, it was at Inglewood to Kawhi. Same 3 stars, 2,000 to 5 for the same front row. Seeing the same people.
you're not doing that.
All right? Downtown. It's just a different man. It's just,
You're doing that. Got a couple more things.
Hey, you know how listen, and it's a real thing. I went to go watch my son play against UCLA. And they smacked the shit out of us. But the smack part wasn't the funny part of it. The funny part was the kids talking about when the USC people are leaving. All right, go take your asses back to the hood. Yeah. All right, the ghetto's back that way. Like, there y'all. But that's the thought process, though. That's the thought process of the rival. All right? One's uppity, one's poor. Hey, take your ass back to the slums, buddy. All right?
since the last time we talked, I don't know if you did it on the arena, but the WNBA did get their salary cap signed. Take a second. Shout out to the ladies. They
Oh,
got paid. Super maxes,
bam, 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 bam.
housing. They got all of it. They got
Whoa,
all of it.
whoa, whoa, whoa. Have they spoken out yet and said, we got what we wanted? It's very different. Wait, we as fans are saying, hell yeah, y'all got raises, good shit. Was what that were they fighting for? Did they get that? Because sometimes this is what happens when we do debates. I mean, when we do negotiation. I want a new car and free health care. Yeah, okay?
Mhm.
Giving me a raise to make me buy my own new car and gotta pay my own free insurance. That's not what I wanted. That's not what I wanted. You know? I mean, I'm gonna take it, but that's not what we was fighting for. Right? So, I wanna hear them as a group, talk about, what they got. Did they get what they want? I'm one of those like, are you getting what you deserve? Could you have gotten more? Did you underplay your hand? Did you overplay your hand? Those are the things I look at, when negotiation happens. But I look at it like this: steps are steps. These 2, 3, 5 steps that you guys did, that sets up the next negotiation for bigger steps. Right? So you got that. That's what, I will celebrate. That you finally got to get some steps in. Right? That hard wall ain't there. You know what I mean? Y'all got through the wall and y'all took five steps. That's good. Right? There's no landmines right there. You got 5 good steps. Hold and let everybody get in. Come on, hey, ladies, it's clear right now. And then that next group of brave soldiers, hopefully, they can get more steps for the future. All this is always about the future. So, most of the people that are fighting, you're not really fighting for yourselves right now. You're fighting for the group that's coming behind you. Right? When you say allow high school kids or ones and dones to enter the league, that's not about you. That's about the future of the game, right? And I want you to think about the future. Like, you see what Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, you see just that one group came in and it brought excitement. Now imagine the Juju, we have Juju, we have,
With Sarah Strong over at UConn right now.
okay, the
Yeah.
girls from the Irish.
Oh, Deanna Hidalgo.
Yeah, right. Imagine if those girls got to come in after 1 and done or 2 years. The more excitement, the more youth comes in. They want to be a part of it. It's the youth environment that builds you. Like me going to buy my daughter tickets to the games, and they want these girls like, oh, we're gonna go see Juju. Got the number 12s out there. You know what I mean? Like those. So you got Jazzy from USC. And she was allowed to come into the draft. Look at the excitement that brings with it. Look at the market that brings with it, right? So you can't think about yourself during these times. You got to think about the future. And this is the older girls, and I understand the argument and the pushback that would have happened before this contract. We don't make enough. We don't make enough right now, and there's not enough spots available for us to allow the young talent to just move us out of the way. And I understand that. But sometimes heads got to get chopped off, or what is it called? Dead hair? Was that
Dead ends or whatever.
Sometimes the split ends got to get cut off for new growth to happen. Right? Yeah, I got daughters, so I got to know shit like that. Because you know what I mean? Why we cutting the hair to make it grow? It's already growing. Just let it go from there. And they're like, that's not how it works. And you can't, you know what I mean? But I'm also a dude You can't tell me a split end down here stops the hair from growing up here. It just sounds dumb. That just sounds dumb. So I understand the pushback, but I do want to congratulate them. This is steps. Next time around, the league gonna get bigger. The excitement's gonna get bigger. I can tell you right now, before last year, I had only in frames 4 WNBA jerseys. I had Swoops. I had Elena Beard, of course, Candace Parker, and Lisa Leslie, right? I mean, if you notice, most of them are Sparks. Oh man! But now I got maybe 14 WNBA jerseys. You know what I mean? So it's,
I think
it's growing.
I think people don't understand how easy it is, or it's harder to get to 20,000 if you're starting at 10,000 as opposed to 18,000. So you're right about like if you get this step, whatever this step is, that next step is gonna be better to take, and it's gonna be better to take, and it's gonna be better to take. I do want to ask you because there was some conversations about the last NBA CBA and stuff like that. Have you ever been in a situation in which you know, I guess there was some sort of league change made, CBA signed, and the Players Association, they did their negotiating, and then the word got back to y'all in the locker room, and y'all were like, man, what the hell is this? Who agreed on this?
Mm-hmm. That's how all CBAs are. You think we gonna let the rest of you motherfuckers know what's going on? Hell no. This is an elite group that they have a group. They have a group that is negotiating. The rest of y'all gonna find out eventually. So when they say sign this, send it in, they don't give a fuck about what you signing. They don't care. They just want you to feel like you're a part of it. It's like voting for the president, right? You think that American vote works? No, it's electoral. Yeah, no, that one counts. Your black ass or why that don't have nothing to do with that, okay? You just get your vote, go stand in line, like your shit matter, we happy to do it. No, they got some secret shit. They got some backdoor voting that has nothing to do with the public. And that's all the CBA is. Yeah, all the players got to vote. And the people that are selected are going to vote. And that's how it is, man. But I can tell you like this. Don't ever in your goddamn right mind thinks negotiations is on the up and up. Never. Ever. And all you can hope for is your representatives are fairly on your side. Let's just put it that way. But I don't see the WNBA being more like us because it genuinely looks like the commissioner there genuinely just don't like them. like you're the commissioner of WNBA and it seems like you don't like the WNBA players. Like you know what I mean? When it comes to our side, so I can speak on our side, when you're talking about like going into, let's say, a war, if you're Adam Silver, you're not going into no war blind. Like, what kind of fool am I? This is a business, man. Who am I negotiating with? Who's on your side? Okay, hey, can we have some private meetings, some sit down, some talks, so I can explain to you from our side, so you can explain to me from your side? We can have a negotiation. We can talk what benefits everybody as a whole. This has nothing to do with you guys individually, nor me individually. It's the whole brand of the NBA. So what do you need for your group to agree? Yeah, okay, yeah, we need, I'm gonna tell you how, I'm gonna tell you how I'll do it from stories I've heard. So I'm gonna put the stories I heard and pretend they me, okay? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we need extra all-star break. Yeah, that's good. Mm-hmm. We need extra all-star break, yep. We need a percentage revenue split. We want to go 51. Y'all go 49. Yeah, I like that. We want. What we want? We want a increase in money. Yeah. Okay. All right. You like that? Okay. 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 Y'all want to get rid of the high school kids? Oh no, we like the high school kids. You can't. We're not giving you the high school kids because we got some young talent that's coming in. I'm not giving you the high school kids. You said what? I can get a coaching job after I'm done. Like within 2-3 years, I can be an NBA coach. All right. Let me talk to the rest of the group.
This is crazy.
Rest of the group, they voted. Oh, they want the high school kids still. Okay. All right. How about this? Let's just throw the high school kids away. Make them go to school. I'll take that coaching job. Thank you. Deal done. Stamp it.
And then they come back.
Let's just put it out there like that. Come on, man. Everybody who was in charge for somehow had a coaching job right after they were done.
And then they come back. They come back and be
And
like,
as they
"You got 9 out of
should.
10?"
As they should. You know why? You trying to deal with 450 egos, man. You didn't sign up for it, but you did sign up for it. So but because of that job, because we don't pay you. We don't pay you, but you get a job after. It's not like I can't say that from my experience, but I don't know. I've never been at the table. I can't say any deal screwed us over in the sense of that. You know what I mean? I can't. Like, I mean, you're going to have to ask somebody like Chris Paul and those guys, or LeBrons, the KDs, or the Currys, who's in, in those talks and understanding that, has any of those deals actually made any steps backwards? And from hindsight, I can't see any of those. Giving up the high school kids, okay, that kind of hurt. But the NBA has thrived. The one and done is still good enough. It's still good enough. We got some great product from ones and dones. But those great products would have been straight out of high school good. No matter if Kevin Durant went to school 1 year, or he would have still been Kevin Durant.
Actually, I think that's good insight.
Because you got to look at it, and you can say, "Oh, that's bullshit." You remember the Euro. The Euro is one. They're technically high school kids coming in. Think about the ages, right? Luka's 18, Wemby's 18. Those guys are the ages. Giannis. Those guys are the ages of our high school kids that would have been coming in. They're thriving.
Plus the reclassification workaround too. Like, I'll just class up 1 year. I'll still be 18 once I enter the league. I just got to make the
I mean, there's been workarounds. There's been, workarounds of, guys trying to figure out, put themselves in positions, right? It's kind of, how we did. We reclass, try this year out, see what it is. If not, you go back to your normal class, right? If you know what I mean? It's, you get wiggle room to play with.
Yeah.
So when people's like, well, he didn't shoot so well. Yeah, there's, things, elements that he didn't get to train because he was injured. So, but averaging another 30 for the 4th year in a row in high school, or playing against college grown men, which one is a better player, right? That is the goal of getting better. Him playing in college, the games he got to play, averaging 14 in college basketball with no training, coming off a 9-month injury, is 1,000 times better than him playing high school basketball. You know what I mean? Like it's not even a same. Like, if I'm trying to train a kid to get better, right? And we all know the theory, but we don't really apply it to most things, right? But we can apply it to jail. How about that?
Oh my gosh. Okay.
If I take, how much you weigh? Don't get offended. 180.
180. Yeah, 180.
I take you to jail right now, right?
Oh.
And I say, all right, by 2027, who is gonna be the more dangerous person? You on the street for 1 year, or you got put in prison for 1 year? And you got in January 2021, you came out, who is the scarier person? This one right here, with his Coogee sweater on. Chilling, like, you see what I'm saying? Like, So it's the same thing. If I take two 18-year-olds, put one in high school, put one in college, and let them work themselves, when these two people meet, the one who's getting battle tested and he was forced to get better will dominate the other him. And that's all this is. Put your kids in situations to improve. The results comes from the improvement. It comes from the work. Some results you're not going to see until later. Stop expecting them now.
Last thing. Our guy Pat Bev got on the scene, Gil.
Woo!
He's back,
He's back.
and he's making some pretty bold claims.
Okay.
First one isn't the worst one. Well,
What is Pat doing?
listen. He starts comparing NBA players to one another, and saying, "Hey, this one is better than this one. This one is Hall of Fame. This one is this, that, and the third." I want to start off with his take on Dame, and then move on to the actual real take. So this is his take on Damian Lillard being a Hall of Famer. So, quick hitter. Is Damian Lillard a Hall of Famer?
Are you serious?
Hey, brother, this was gonna be a quick one. The next one is more of the conversation.
Okay, so 22,000 points.
Mhm.
Hall of Fame. That's Hall of Fame. 22,000 points, 6,000 assists, almost 4,000 rebounds. You're a 9-time All-Star, 7-time All-NBA player. Means you were top 15 in the league for 7 years. Rookie of the Year, All-Star MVP, and the most important, he's already a top 75 player. When did the top 75 list comes out?
Oof, that's a great
How many
question.
years ago? 2021?
Yeah, 22.
Okay, 2022. That means he was already a Hall of Fame player then. And I think sometimes we confuse careers with moments, right? And Derrick Rose is gonna always be that bitter taste for a lot of hoopers. You know what I mean? Because he's the youngest MVP, right? And that is kind of the downfall of, because he did such this great thing at a young age that he was trading towards being a top 5 point guard of all time, right? But he ends up getting injured and it derailed him. So we're stuck on the youngest MVP claim. Well, that claim alone, it's just a claim. An MVP is still just an MVP, right? So yes, he has an MVP He has 1 All-NBA team and 3 All-Stars, right? The body of work is what's keeping Derrick Rose out. Not Derrick Rose's talent. You're not talented. You got to be to be an MVP, period. You know how talented you have to be the youngest MVP. That means you're an MVP in an era where there was a Kobe Bryant playing like an MVP, a LeBron James, a Kevin Durant. Those guys were still in the league at a very, very high level, and you won an MVP. Just like if Wemby wins this MVP, it is a very big deal because of who's in the league doing what at this level, right? Now, if Wemby wins this MVP and then he gets hurt, knock on wood, he doesn't, and he don't have a career after that, he's not going to be a Hall of Famer because it's the body of work that is being done over your career. It's the longevity of a career that makes you a Hall of Famer, not small moments. But, you know, the Chicagoans and the Chicago guys are going to always defend their Chicago guys. But I think just Dame Lillard itself was just a bad example because it's the Hall of Fame. It's about you and your product through your basketball career. And that's all it is. But that was he shouldn't have used that guy.
Well, he also made commentary on one of our guys.
But I know we will put an MVP, but for a Hooper, Derrick Rose is MVP. I mean, Derrick Rose is a Hall of Famer, just like Penny would have been a Hall of Famer if he's not into him. You know what I mean? Like we have our hoop Hall of Famers, right? Who should fucking Marbury should be a Hall of Famer, right? Ginobili, Tony Parker, right? All those guys, yes, of course. And someone from my era who don't get the credit, but longevity, plus he hooped, Jamal Crawford. Right? It's like, you know, longevity of something really matters too. Sustaining it for a long period of time is a thing, right? And it's just like, you know, youngest, and using the word youngest doesn't help your case. Don't hurt it, but it don't give you no extra points. Just like when people say, Steph is the unanimous winner, MVP winner. And what does that? Doesn't give any extra points, right? It doesn't, because all the voters liked him, cool. But there's not, the Jordan, you're talking about, like, who voted against Jordan in any of those? We watched them years. Who voted against him, right? That says more about them than the guy who played, right? Again, Kobe years, LeBron years, Shaq years, who else was getting votes? You know what I mean? A voter is a voter. So, you know, it's likable. Steph is likable. So, you know how stupid you would have looked voting against him? It's easy to vote against LeBron James. If LeBron James averages 40, 20, and 20 right now, he would not be he's not going to be unanimous. Someone's going to say, I don't give a fuck what he did. He's not better than Jordan. Boop, go against him. Now, what was his other take?
The other take
Oh, this one's good.
is about Harden and D Wade.
Ooh.
On the matters of Harden and D Wade, you're talking about a player that can score it, a player that can get to the free throw line, a player that can pass it out of the pick and roll. A lot of people were going under on D Wade pick and rolls.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't gonna front you feel me? A lot of people were letting D Wade have that. This is him saying that that James Harden is better than D Wade. And I want to listen to D Wade's response because I ain't gonna lie, D Wade kind of turned up on Pat Bev. A little unnecessarily, but he turned up on him.
I don't understand how you can have a conversation about me and state facts when you're not as good as me. Pat Bev came out and just talked about me. And James, another conversation with me and James.
Like, James Harden is a better player than Dwayne Wade.
Pat just came out he was definitive. James Harden is better than Dwayne Wade.
Stop.
He was very definitive in his answer. And I was just sitting there like, okay, Pat, what's your facts?
Right.
To say that someone's better, or just come out and say what I personally like, the style of play that I like to see.
That's a great way to
is
say
X, Y, and Z. Don't you ever fix your mouth to say nobody is better than me when you wasn't better than me. Like, you can't do that. Like, you talk about a better player, you're talking about every aspect of the game of basketball. You know how good I was at a lot of aspects of the game?
Discredited a lot, but
And
what are your
that's
thoughts?
weird now because he's a Chicagoan.
Yeah.
He must then let Pat Bev to one of his camps or something. I don't know, but all right,
I mean, what's your thoughts? I mean, first D Wade or James, because you played against D Wade, and again, I think D Wade is somebody who
I played
Yeah.
against D Wade. I talked shit, made a comment about D Wade, and had to feel I had to feel all of that in real time and for the rest of my career. I think after those comments, I think I went 3-16 against Dwayne Wade. He beat the dog shit out of me every time we matched up. What D Wade is saying is absolutely correct. And when you're talking about the game of basketball, that means there's layers to the games, right? Offense, defense, like there's a lot of layers to the game of basketball. And it's kind of like the LeBron versus certain people debates, no matter if it's Kobe or what's the name. You're talking about all around basketball players versus others, right? LeBron brings more tangible things that he can bring to the game. So if you're going to say, who am I going to draft as just a one player, you're going to go with Dwayne Wade because he covers up a lot of spots, right? If he's not scoring, he's going to turn into a lockdown defender, right? He's going to be a pass. He's going to be a rebounder. Like, there's a lot of things Dwayne Wade brings to the game of basketball. And if you can't just look at the scoring aspect from James Harden and the play, the All-Star game. I mean, not the All-Star, but the style of play, the offensive end, right? When you're talking about Dwayne Wade, like when you talk about Anthony Edwards coming off the bench, who is he comparing him to? Dwayne Wade came off the bench because Dwayne Wade adapted. He can adapt his game to all different lineups. So if you're going to draft somebody, you're probably going to draft Dwayne Wade because he's the overall better basketball player when it comes to just all aspects of it. Now, when it comes to James Harden, when you're talking about that offensive side, that is a pure psychopath when it comes to finding ways to score. James Harden changed rules in this NBA, right? These are just they're different individuals and did different things, right? James Harden changed rules. James Harden invented. James Harden transcended the offensive end of basketball. He made defenders themselves figure out how to play structurally sound defense or he was going to exploit you. Now that's James Harden, right? That is it's trying to compare two different type of machines, right? It's like building a 2K player, right? One is being built for the park and the battleground, right? And one's being built to be in a team structured environment. So, Dwayne Wade is going to be considered a comp player. He's going to be a 3-and-D player, right? All right, he's going to lock up your best player. He's going to score. He's going to hit the rim. He's going to play. Like, he's going to do everything. Now, James Harden, he going to have the 99-3, right? He going to have the 96, 95 dribbling, right? He's going to have the 88 dunk. He ain't going to be quite 93, right? Pass is going to be, gold. Defense is going to be 56. He ain't going to have no defense on it, right? He's only built to bust your ass. And he does it who's a better basketball player and who's a better offensive juggernaut? Like, James Harden is competing with the best pure offensive scorer in NBA history. Two different categories, but they both can be the best at their category. If we're talking about just pure scoring, James Harden. Putting the ball in the bucket, James Harden, right? Who's gonna score 67? Give me James Harden. Who's gonna foul a motherfucker out? Give me James Harden, right? But the Dwayne Wade is just a whole different type of beast. It's just, you know what I mean? Am I in the desert or I'm on the freeway? That's what this is. Where am I at when I need this car? So, however you're gonna have them, it seems like they both fighting for the three spot, right? It just seems like because you got Iverson, right? And I don't know if everybody is just sold with Iverson being 4, right? It's like, okay, Iverson's 4. We can put AI there, right? Even though we know, because it's one of these things, and I can tell you this, you put Dwayne Wade over Iverson because of the championships and the dominance at the next level, in the playoffs, at a young age, winning finals MVP with a Shaq on your team. We do have that, right? Playing with LeBron James and still be dominant, right? So we know LeBron James took away from you in your heightened years. So you gotta give him credit for that. He had to move aside to let LeBron James come over, or he would have been scoring titles himself a lot more. You know, that's why he didn't win MVP. It's when the years that he was supposed to win it, LeBron came over with. But they're just two different type of players. But they're fighting for. It's like they're fighting for 3 and 5. You have Dwayne Wade over because the accomplishments he has. So if you move James Harden there, then if you move James Harden to 3, then people want to move Allen Iverson back in front of Dwayne Wade. So it's easier to just be like, all right, you don't have to like talk about it. Just, all right, put Dwayne Wade 3, Allen Iverson 4, then James Harden 5. It makes it easier if you don't want to debate. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Because you can use the championships on, oh, you didn't win no champion. You get to do that dumb shit. And then say, oh, Dwayne Wade, woo! Yeah, I ain't got to think. I ain't got to think. But I love debates like that. You know why? Because you're talking about top tier. You're talking about Lambo versus, Bugattis and shit like that. Cool, those are great debates. That we're pretending one is really an Acura. Right? Like we're treating like the Lambo and the Bugatti, we're treating it like it's really an Acura and a Camry when we start talking shit about it. But they all top tier. Like when we're talking about the top 3 players of all time in their position, we're really trying to make one believe he's so far at the bottom, even though he's fighting for 1 or 2. Those are the funny things about debates. Like when you talk about LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, or Michael Jordan, we're pretending one is number 1 and number 2 is 5,557. He shouldn't even be this nowhere near. That's the arguments on how we're doing these debates. So it's great. Now hey, listen. When Dwayne Wade gets mad, boy, like you know what I mean? Like he don't really defend himself like that. But that is a stance he should have defended himself on.
Yeah, he said, first of all, Pat Bev, who are you? And then he also made the claim that, most of these people that they have in these conversations over me and all this other stuff, a lot of it had to do with health over anything. But when I was on the court, I was busting ass.
No, facts.
Well, so
But
what about that?
that's all the players, man. That's everybody, man. Like, but listen, it's not like even if you're Dwayne Wade, like being offended is not really. You can't if you're gonna be better than me. I would, if someone's gonna say, I think James Harden is better than me. When I look at James Harden, I'd be like, well, what do you mean better than me? And I'd be like, all right, okay. 26, 25 a game, 27 a game, 29 a game, 29 a game, 30 a game, 36 a game, 34 a game, and then okay, goddamn, okay, at least it's him, right? At least it's someone that is pushing in that top tier level. Like you know what I mean? Like if you like, you don't want your girl to cheat on you with someone who work at Walmart and you're an NBA player. Let it be another NBA player who's sitting there, the lead star of his team. Let it be comparable at least. Nigga at Walmart, that means she really like him. she really like dude, right? Down, like when you see, hey man, this profile player, he lost his girl to a trainer. I don't like that.
That don't sound right. That don't sound right.
Right? You know what I mean? Like Bill Gates, not Bill Gates, like Bezos.
Yeah.
She left me for a teacher. Excuse moi, teacher. Teacher. Oh hell no. And, those like that. She really loved him. And I said, but like that's a good debate, man. Like it's not like it's. You're gonna have people. You're gonna have James Harden. It's like you can't. It's not like you can't defend James Harden with second in MVP voting, second in MVP voting, 2014-15 season, 2016-17 season, 2019-18-19 season, came in third in 19-20 season. Right? So you're talking about a guy who is considered one or two best player in the NBA damn near 4 years. So, it's I wouldn't be offended. That's not something I'd be offended. Like when people are like, yeah, Steph Curry is better than you. All right, okay. I appreciate it. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Those are, Dame Leonard is better than you. Cool. Yeah, top 75 player. Put me in there. I don't want to be, like, wherever I am, if I'm 291, don't compare me with a nigga that's 5,000. How about that? That's when I get offended. 5,000. Somebody who averages 21 a game where I average 29, I got booed at 21, right? And he averages 21. And they be like, yeah, he better than you. Yeah, no, we're not going to do that. That's not, you know what I mean? So, that's a good one. It wasn't too wild.
Now, you forgot about Pat Bev saying that, well, this is what he responded back. Damn Flash, rent free, saying the truth is the truth. Pat Bev says he shot the 3-ball way better than D Wade.
Uh-huh.
And their records against each other, Pat Bev is 7-3 versus D Wade because they're trying to compare each other. I know you don't. I know you don't want to compare. Okay, you don't want to compare.
You can't do that. You can't throw in team success, man. You can't throw in team success. Like when Pat was describing. Oh shit! I just thought about it. I think Pat contradicted himself.
Oh, talk about it.
Yeah, Pat. Yeah, Pat. You do. Yeah, Pat. Yeah, I'm sorry, Pat. You know what I mean? It's your take. You know what I mean? I'm just responding to your take. But the argument you use from Derrick Rose to Dame Leonard, you're not using the same logic for James Harden and Dwayne Wade, right? Well, remember, one is just a scorer, and this, and you believe in championships, you believe in this, that, and that. That's Dwayne Wade over James Harden, but you're picking James Harden in this category, right? So that would kind of be contradiction to your philosophy, right? Because one has championships, 3 of them, finals MVP, right? He's a defensive player, leads, shooting guards and blocks and stuff like that. So, he is the guy that you talked about, in another take over a guy who, puts the ball in the basket. But James Harden shoots the ball. James Harden is a shooter that knows how to score, Like James Harden's a marksman. Like I think people sometimes don't understand. Like, how great of a shooter you have to be to do step backs and, try to get the foul going up and making these shots. Like, you have to really be good at it. That you're gonna take the harder one because it's so easy. And stir fry, Mr. Stir Fry was him.
Hibachi is hibachi.
You know what I mean? Like, it's, man, listen, James Harden, like, if you want to know how good James Harden is, just remember this. In Philadelphia, his horrible years at Philadelphia, and how they said he fell off and he's not the same no more. He averaged 21 and 10 both those years.
Down years.
Just so 21 and 10. Just 21, 10.7. Now remember, you remember they said he was falling off, right? Chris Paul, 21 and 11, 22.8, so 23 and 11. Was second in MVP and fifth in MVP voting. Now, those are Chris Paul's golden years. Man, he's number one point guard in the NBA. And the other one, with just a tad bit under those numbers, has fell off and shouldn't be on his team. And it's not a valuable piece to anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, you know, when you look at a person's down year and you're like, oh, damn, he was getting booed with these numbers. God damn it, these are max numbers for everybody else. I would love to have a fall off at 21 and 10. Shit, just give me 10 assists. Shit, I was putting in 4, 5. I give you 4, 5.